Muy buenas tardes, damas y caballeros. Autoridades presentes, representantes diplomáticos, directivos y miembros de la Cámara Americana de Comercio de la República Dominicana, empresarios, representantes de los medios de comunicación, invitados, público en general. Sean todos muy bienvenidos. Este almuerzo de hoy está dedicado a la acción de gracias. Valoramos esa noble y humilde entrega que inició siglos atrás, dando gracias a Dios por la bendición de la cosecha y por los frutos del año anterior. Aprovechamos ese mismo espíritu que nos une hoy aquí para dar gracias a cada uno de los colaboradores de la Cámara Americana de Comercio que en este almuerzo de tanto significado nos acompañan. Algunos están sentados en aquella esquina donde estoy mirando, otros están en la mesa de sonidos, otros están en la puerta. Quisiéramos externarle nuestro agradecimiento al equipo AmCham por su empeño diario en aras de proveerle a nuestra membresía los servicios que requieren para la prosperidad de sus instituciones y el desarrollo sostenible de nuestro amado país. En este Día de Acción de Gracias, me tomo un momento y les pido que le demos un aplauso al equipo AmCham. Nuestro almuerzo conferencia de hoy tiene como oradora y huésped de honor a la embajadora de los Estados Unidos en la República Dominicana, señora Robin Bernstein, con el tema "Estamos unidos, avanzando juntos hacia la prosperidad". A continuación presentamos a los patrocinadores de este evento, nuestro círculo élite que nos acompaña a lo largo del año y gracias a ellos podemos celebrar todos estos eventos. Inicia, Barrick Pueblo Viejo, City, Bepensa, Martí, Jaina International Terminals, Claro, Squire Patton Boggs, Pasteurizadora Rica, Humanos Seguros. Gracias a todos ellos por ser nuestros patrocinadores Círculo Élite. Nuestro programa de hoy va de la siguiente manera. Iniciamos recibiendo una oración seguida por la bendición de los alimentos por parte del reverendo padre Gerardo Ramírez Paniagua. Procedemos al almuerzo de acción de gracias. Posterior al almuerzo, recibiremos las palabras del presidente de la Cámara Americana de Comercio, el señor David Fernández, quien tendrá el honor a su vez de presentar a nuestra oradora invitada y huésped de honor. Recibiremos las palabras centrales de la honorable embajadora de los Estados Unidos, Robin Bernstein. Luego pasaremos a una sesión de preguntas y respuestas con la honorable embajadora, la cual será conducida por el señor William Malamud, vicepresidente ejecutivo de AmCham DR. Les recordamos a todos tomarse la libertad de pasarnos sus preguntas durante la ponencia de la embajadora. Nuestra compañera Rosalina estará pasando por los pasillos recogiendo las mismas. Damos ahora inicio formal al programa, invitando aquí al podio al reverendo padre Gerardo Ramírez Paniagua para que por favor nos conceda una oración y la bendición de los alimentos que serán servidos a continuación.
Buenas tardes. Antes que nada, la mayoría me conoce por mi nombre artístico, Padre Jerry. Soy yo mismo. Padre Gerardo Ramírez Paniagua y Padre Jerry es la misma persona. Nos ponemos de pie. Señor y Dios nuestro, te damos gracias por la vida de estos hombres y mujeres en los cuales has derramado tantos talentos y dones para ponerlos al servicio de la comunidad. Te damos gracias por tu Espíritu Santo derramado en ellos, para que usando sabiamente esos conocimientos y usándolos, han demostrado durante este año que los talentos, le diste 1, 2, 3, lo has multiplicado. Te damos gracias por sus familias, todos los miembros de sus familias que tan generosamente lo donan al servicio de sus empresas, trabajos, lugares donde sirven, pero también al servicio de la nación, porque generan recursos para mover la economía nacional. Gracias por los hombres y mujeres de la Cámara Americana de Comercio, que constantemente han estado preparando durante todo este año actividades para encontrarnos, para que se encuentren, para crear oportunidades, para buscar acuerdos y lograrlos. Gracias, Señor, por la vida. Gracias por tantos hombres y mujeres que con el beneficio producido por estos hombres y mujeres que hoy están aquí, han podido salir al encuentro de sus familias y sostener sus vidas. Te damos gracias, Señor, por pensar en nosotros, por elegirnos. En esta acción de gracias te queremos pedir que nos permita permanecer donde estamos, haciendo lo que tenemos que hacer, sin importarnos lo que digan los demás. Bendice también, Señor, nuestro almuerzo de acción de gracias, que Él beneficie nuestro cuerpo, para que con la alegría de tener la salud podamos continuar sirviéndote en lo que cada uno hace. Te lo pedimos por Jesucristo nuestro Señor.
Aprovecho la ocasión para mencionarle sobre 2 eventos importantes en el futuro inmediato. Este próximo martes 27 tendremos el importante evento anual del Comité TIC, donde se lanzará la segunda edición del White Paper de e-commerce para la República Dominicana. El desayuno conferencia titulado From Bricks to Clicks abordará el estado actual de la economía digital en República Dominicana. Tendremos al presidente de Indotel como orador invitado y un panel de expertos del sector tecnología y telecomunicaciones. Y 2 días después, el próximo jueves 29, tendremos un almuerzo conferencia en Santiago de los Caballeros con Rubén Bichara, vicepresidente de la CDE, donde tratará el tema Punta Catalina, el impacto de su entrada en el sistema energético nacional. Muy oportuna esa charla por igual. Muy bien, recibamos sin más preámbulo ahora al presidente del Consejo Directivo de AmCham DR, el señor David Fernández, quien tiene unas palabras de bienvenida para nosotros. Lo recibimos.
Señora Robin Bernstein, embajadora de los Estados Unidos en la República Dominicana. Donald Guerrero, ministro de Hacienda. Nelson Toca, ministro de Industria y Comercio. Charles Mariotti, senador de la provincia de Monteplata. Rafael Paz, director del Consejo de Competitividad. Pedro Brache, presidente del CONEP. Distinguidos miembros del Consejo de Directores y pasado presidente de la Cámara Americana. Autoridades, ejecutivos, miembros de la Cámara, representantes diplomáticos de la Embajada estadounidense y de otras misiones en el país, miembros del Círculo Élite, representantes de los miembros de los medios de comunicación, invitados. Muy buenas tardes. Como es tradicional en nuestra Cámara, dedicamos nuestro almuerzo anual del mes de noviembre a la festividad de Thanksgiving, o Día de Acción de Gracia, como se dice en español. Una celebración de los Estados Unidos entrañable y familiar que tiene como finalidad agradecer junto a los seres queridos las bendiciones que recibimos en la vida. Mañana, 4º jueves de noviembre, todo ciudadano y ciudadana de ese gran país, sin importar su origen o credo, hará un alto en el camino para dar gracias. Y nosotros nos adelantamos con este almuerzo para hacer lo propio. Y si bien tenemos muchos motivos para ser agradecidos, como nuestras familias, amistades, el trabajo, la prosperidad, la salud, el amor, la naturaleza, las oportunidades y hasta los obstáculos que nos obligan a superarnos, en este 2018 la Cámara Americana de Comercio de la República Dominicana tiene un motivo extra y especial, y es que este es el 95 aniversario de la Cámara Americana. Así que hoy, además de Thanksgiving, celebramos 95 años de vida de nuestra organización y nos llena de orgullo que ustedes también puedan acompañarnos y formar parte de nuestra historia en un momento tan emotivo. Me gustará tomar un momento también para agradecer al señor Robert Copley, ministro consejero de la Embajada de Estados Unidos, y a su gran equipo de la Embajada por su excelente representación del gobierno de los Estados Unidos durante los últimos 2 años. Señora embajadora, usted tiene un magnífico equipo y sé que ellos están ansiosos por colaborar con usted para llevar a cabo su agenda. También quiero brindar un especial agradecimiento al equipo de la Cámara Americana que ha trabajado arduamente en este año para implementar mejoras en la calidad del servicio hacia nuestros miembros, reforzando nuestra propuesta de valor de conectarles a ustedes con oportunidades de negocios y promoviendo políticas que fortalezcan el clima de inversión en la República Dominicana. Un ejemplo tangible de esto son las nuevas instalaciones de nuestra Cámara Americana, que fueron recientemente remodeladas en la Torre Empresarial, AIRD, en donde reanudaremos nuestras operaciones a partir de la semana entrante. Y me complace decirles que esto sucedió en tiempo y, más importante todavía, dentro del presupuesto establecido. Sin duda alguna, las bases de nuestro éxito y longevidad como Cámara residen en los valores compartidos de estas dos naciones: la democracia e institucionalidad, el Estado de Derecho, el trato igualitario para todos en el marco de la ley, la libre empresa, una economía de mercado, el libre comercio y justo, todo esto con el fin de construir un mejor mañana para las generaciones emergentes en el día a día. Por diversas razones, la economía, la geografía, lo cultural, el béisbol como nuestro deporte rey y muchas cosas más, las relaciones con los Estados Unidos son las más estrechas e importantes de la República Dominicana. Por ello se ha convertido en una preciada tradición la de nuestra Cámara Americana de Comercio de contar con la embajadora de Estados Unidos en turno como nuestra embajadora invitada y huésped de honor en Thanksgiving. Nos sentimos sumamente complacidos de tener con nosotros a la embajadora Robert Bernstein. En su corto tiempo en el país, la embajadora Bernstein ha demostrado ser una mujer práctica, orientada a la obtención de resultados y con la calidad profesional, y quien además entiende los negocios y el lograr éxito en los mismos. Esta tarde tengo el honor de presentarles a la embajadora Robert Bernstein, quien fue juramentada en el cargo el pasado 3 de julio de este año por el presidente de los Estados Unidos, Donald J. Trump. Anteriormente se desempeñaba como presidenta y directora de Richard S. Bernstein y Asociados y vicepresidenta de Reedsburg, ambas en el estado de Florida, hasta su renuncia luego de su confirmación al cargo de embajadora por el Senado de los Estados Unidos en fecha 29 de junio. A lo largo de su carrera, la señora Bernstein ha desarrollado una amplia experiencia como empresaria, consultora de negocios, corredora de seguros, agente de bienes raíces y representante registrada de numerosas compañías. Ha demostrado su compromiso social al formar parte de múltiples consejos y juntas de directores de organizaciones sin fines de lucros. Es cofundadora del Palm Beach County Cares, una fundación dedicada a proporcionar asistencia para los damnificados del huracán María en Puerto Rico y las Islas Vírgenes de Estados Unidos. La señora Bernstein posee una licenciatura en idiomas de American University en Washington, D.C. y un magíster en Administración de Empresas de la Universidad George Washington. Fue galardonada con el Premio Mujeres en Liderazgo de la Fundación Executive Women of the Palm Beaches. La señora Bernstein habla francés y español a nivel intermedio. Y bueno, acompáñenme en darle la bienvenida a la embajadora.
It works. Muy buenas tardes.
Yes.
In Native American, Wen Gabo. Welcome from the heart. And of course, in American, good afternoon, everyone. Minister Donald Guerrero, Minister Nelson Toca, Senator Charlie Mariotti, Rafael Paz, Director of the National Council on Competitiveness, David Fernandez, President of the AmCham DR Board, Pedro Brash, President of CONEP, ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros y amigos, todos. Good afternoon. It is a pleasure and my sincere honor to be with you all today to celebrate the tradition of American Thanksgiving. It is one of my favorite holidays, as our traditions call for us to bring our family, friends, and loved ones together to give thanks for the gifts we have received in our lives. It is also my honor to introduce my husband Richard and my daughter Allie, who are here today, and to thank my special friend, Princess Debbie White Dove Perico of the Manapanai Indian tribe, who was with us earlier. My core values are faith and family, and these values are exemplified and celebrated together at Thanksgiving. As President Trump said in his Thanksgiving address, quote, "Today, we continue to celebrate Thanksgiving with a grateful and charitable spirit. Let us find ways to serve and encourage each other in both word and deed. As one people, we seek God's protection, guidance, and wisdom as we stand humbled by the abundance of our great nation and the blessings of freedom, family, and faith." End quote. Today, I would like to talk about our priorities, which I firmly believe are in the best interest of both our peoples. U.S. strategy is clear. Our engagement with you is designed to support a safe and secure Dominican Republic that partners with us to thwart transnational crime, a democratic Dominican Republic with strong institutions, a prosperous Dominican Republic that is capable and resilient trading partner, and a Dominican Republic that partners with us on global issues. I am proud of my business background and entrepreneurial spirit, and am committed to helping all Dominicans improve their opportunities during my tenure here. The United States has a strategic interest in increasing your prosperity and resilience. This will be true as long as we remain neighbors. Simply put, our economic success is linked. Our shared security is linked. Our shared health threats are linked. You're not only one of our closest neighbors, it goes much deeper than that. With over 2 million Dominicans living in the United States, you are part of our family. I am so grateful that President Trump selected me to serve here in the Dominican Republic. It was my top choice, and the position is even more rewarding than I had ever anticipated. I hope you will find me to be an envoy that is not only looking first and foremost to advance U.S. interests and protect our citizens, but also someone who is on your side, the side of the Dominican people. SIDE, S-I-D-E, security, investment and trade, disaster preparedness, and education. These are my personal priorities, and you will see and hear a lot about them from me in the coming years. First, security. My utmost responsibility is to ensure the safety and security of U.S. citizens, whether it's my team at the embassy, our U.S. citizens who reside here, or the nearly 3 million U.S. tourists who visit here every year. Recent polling data shows citizen security is also a key concern of Dominicans, and this makes it one of our most important shared challenges. Since 2010, the United States has invested $120 of the $500 million dedicated to the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative right here in the Dominican Republic. We have nearly a dozen federal agencies here directly involved in counter-narcotics efforts, crime prevention, and capacity building. A week ago, our embassy donated a $750,000 Boston Whaler interceptor boat, the 14th since 2010, to the Dominican Navy for counter-narcotics operations. In addition, we conduct approximately 140 cooperation activities with the Dominican military and police each year. We've also worked with AmCham DR's legal committee, which I would like to thank, and with the Dominican Senate to support a modern asset forfeiture law to deter narcotics trafficking, money laundering, and other illicit activities, and to deprive criminals of access to their ill-gotten gains. I am hopeful during my tenure here, we will see the political will to pass this law. Second, investment and trade. Many of you participated last week in our tremendously successful Florida trade mission, and my thanks to AmCham DR for being such a valuable partner. Our commerce team brought over 60 Florida-based representatives of companies, port, the World Trade Center in Miami, and state government to look for opportunities here in the DR. We already have approximately $12 billion in two-way goods trade between our countries, and it was incredibly exciting for me to expand these already dynamic connections between my home state, the DR's largest export market, I might add, and my new home here. I'm excited to announce that we are following up on the Florida Trade Mission with a Caribbean Business Summit to take place in Miami, Florida on June 5th to 6th, 2019. We are pleased to be working with our fabulous partners, Enterprise Florida and AmCham DR, on this initiative to bring together U.S. and Caribbean companies and government officials to further improve U.S.-Caribbean bilateral trade. Let's not neglect the I in investment, which applies to your domestic priorities as well. All of our commercial investments will suffer if forward-looking commitments to security, education, and disaster preparedness and recovery are not made now. Estamos unidos. We will rise and fall on the same tide. But I've been here long enough to realize that you have the resources to bring to bear on these challenges. Let's harness them together. Third, disaster preparedness. We've always helped in times of need, but according to a World Bank and Dominican Ministry of Economy, Planning, and Development study, the economic impact of disasters in the country is estimated to have averaged $420 million per year, every year from 1961 to 2014. That is a heavy cost to pay every year simply by not preparing enough for the effects of storm and climate events. For example, Florida, New Orleans, Puerto Rico, we are still recovering years later. The time to invest and prepare is now. I'm very pleased to see what we can do on this front, particularly as the Dominican Republic will assume its first ever seat on the UN Security Council and will give voice to the countries in the world that are most susceptible to natural disasters. Our partnership with the Centro de Operaciones de Emergencias, COE, goes back many years, and we have seen it evolve into one of the most effective early messaging and response coordination centers in the region. Just this month, the U.S. Coast Guard took part in a mass rescue operations exercise, and in December will facilitate training for first responders that will allow the COA to strengthen interagency response to any natural or man-made disaster. The next disaster will come sooner or later, and we must be prepared. And while I am on the topic of resilience, I want you to know that the United States has partnered for many years with the Dominican government to reduce public health threats, which is critical to preventing the spread of infectious disease. The people of the United States, through the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, or PEPFAR, have supported efforts in the Dominican Republic to increase detection, treatment, and retention and care of people living with HIV to obtain epidemic control. And in response to the threat of Zika, the United States is working to improve Dominican healthcare providers' capacity to deliver quality Zika-related care and social services. Fourth, but last but not least, education. Education is a bedrock of social advancement and economic growth. I am dismayed at the disparity between the economic dynamism around the country and the current educational outcomes. This is not sustainable, and we all need to make improving the quality of education here a priority. This is another perfect example of how we can collaborate. I know the country has resources, with a mandate to spend 4% of GDP on education. However, the problem is so critical. The private sector and others, such as international donors like the United States government, should continue to prioritize investing in education. Through USAID, our investment in education here is focused on literacy, to make sure all Dominican children improve their reading and writing skills and have access to quality education. I'm very proud of the work we have done. Through USAID's project, Leer, we've helped nearly 200,000 children, trained over 2,500 teachers, and distributed over 650,000 books and materials to classrooms and school libraries. And we are focused on developing skills for the 21st century. We are partnering with the Ministry of Education to improve digital literacy and development of Dominican students, specifically by implementing tools for learning English as a second language on the nation's Digital Republic platform. Improving education outcomes requires a focus that is a long-term investment. We want to collaborate with you and AmCham DR companies to create partnerships to co-invest in all levels of education to enhance the Dominican Republic's competitiveness and future prosperity. I return now to investment and trade. This country has been a model in the region for economic growth, and it can continue. I'm certain of it. But we'll need security, disaster preparation, and education, as I mentioned. Underlying all of that is an awareness that modern capital wants stability and the rule of law. We want to attract U.S. companies to do business in and invest in the Dominican Republic. But the government needs to do its part by maintaining an attractive, stable, and predictable investment climate. Rule of law and zero tolerance for corruption are absolutely essential to attracting and keeping U.S. investors and businesses. The Dominican Republic has demonstrated remarkable growth over recent years, but in order for it to be sustainable and for the country to be at the forefront of global trade, I think that the DR should continue to focus on improving its rule of law, transparency, and anti-corruption efforts. That is why the U.S. government has been working closely with the Dominican Republic on developing government procurement procedures that focus on obtaining the best value for the people as well as developing a modern and transparent legal framework. For U.S. companies in the audience, I want to assure you that we will do everything in our power to ensure that you can compete on a level playing field with foreign competitors. This means watching major projects and tenders carefully to ensure that the laws and rules are followed and enforced. We can help. We want to help. And it is in our strategic interest to help. Let's continue to work together towards our shared prosperity. Side by side, S-I-D-E, living by our shared values and commitments, estamos unidos. As President John F. Kennedy said, quote, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them, end quote. I am grateful for the opportunity to be with you all today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your friendship. God bless the United States of America. God bless the Dominican Republic. Thank you and happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, well, congratulations on your clear and concise overview of your agenda for the bilateral relationship. And we got a couple take-homes already in your short tenure here. AmCham is committed to a logistics trade mission to Florida and follow up to the Florida Enterprise mission that was just here earlier. And also we're planning for the first half of 2019 a conference on resilience, both to raise awareness and to have plans in place at both the private sector and public sector level for dealing with natural disasters, which unfortunately are inevitable. It's when, not if. With respect to you gave a good overview of your agenda here in the Dominican Republic, but I was wondering if we could step back and put it into a broader context. Recently, the National Security Advisor John Bolton spoke in Miami on U.S. policy towards Latin America, and the focus of his speech was almost exclusively on what he characterized as the Troika of Terror, Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua. But beyond containment of those three regimes, is there a broader strategy in which the Dominican Republic fits in U.S. policy vis-a-vis Latin America?
First of all, I'm glad we're not in the Troika.
Yes, indeed.
I think because we are so closely located to the southern part of Florida, the southern part of the United States, I think there will always be a focus on safety and security, rule of law. Immigration will always be, I think it will always be an issue because just as the Dominican Republic wants safe and secure borders and to protect your people that are not good people from coming into your country illegally, the United States will always be focused on the same thing, to protect its safety and security of its citizens. So I would say that safety and security will always be of paramount importance. Another issue that this administration has been focusing on is narcotics and drug entry, and unfortunately there is an uptick on narcotics that are transiting through this country into the United States. So trafficking of persons, illegal, whether it's ammunition or drugs, and again, it has to do with safety and security of both our peoples, will continue to be of major interest.
Okay. As you know, China's been increasingly active in the Western Hemisphere, securing access to resources, investing in critical infrastructure projects, and certain manufacturing operations through state-owned enterprises. How does the Trump administration view this more proactive Chinese presence in the region? And what message, if any, to the Dominican Republic with respect to Chinese intentions or modus operandi?
Well, I think with the Belt and Road Initiative, it's more of a worldwide. It's not only this region, but it's the Belt and Road Initiative is a worldwide initiative. The Trump administration, again, is going to focus on increasing the bilateral relationship. We have a huge Dominican diaspora, as I mentioned, over 2 million Dominicans living in the United States, as well as 250,000 Americans that live here. Obviously, tourism is critically important to this area. So we are going to focus on what I believe are our shared priorities, continue to focus on our shared priorities. We have a long relationship with the Republic, and rather than get in someone else's agenda, I believe that it is our country's intention that we should stay focused on a safe and secure, a democratic Dominican Republic. You're a strong Dominican Republic is as important to you as it is to us.
Yeah, I think there's also an opportunity, precisely because of some of the things that are happening in the geopolitical sphere and other reasons, that there's a number of major corporations with operations in Asia that are rethinking their supply chains and how to structure themselves, and a lot are rethinking the possibility of reshoring. In fact, many have already come back or have brought suppliers closer to the United States. And so that's one of the things we were talking about with the delegation from Florida, the ports. I mean, back in the 80s, when a lot of manufacturing shifted to Asia, not just the manufacturing left the Dominican Republic, but the entire supply chain from the southeast went with it. And so there was a loss of jobs in both the United States and Dominican Republic. Now, if there's more nearshoring coming back, we can rebuild those supply chains, and the ports and logistics people in Florida were very enthusiastic to explore that further. I was wondering how you see that and how we might work together to bring companies back to the region. It's going to be beneficial for both countries.
Well, as when I first met with AmCham, just recently upon my arrival, I got some great advice, and you told me that what Dominican business wants is foreign direct investment. And since I have arrived here, I've tried to get around the country a little bit, visiting other cities like Santiago, Puerto Plata, the northern coast, Punta Cana, and look, what business wants, American business wants rule of law, transparency, contracts, knowing that someone doesn't, have an untoward agenda. Americans want to invest here. And we are trying to, like the recent trade missions, we've gotten some requests for trade missions as far away as Utah and New Jersey, and I'm hoping that we'll have one from Texas as well. So I think by continuing to have these types of trade missions highlighting what an incredible country this is to invest in, I think that we can establish a much stronger bilateral relationship that would benefit both of our countries.
Right. The U.S. Trade Representative Bob Lighthizer has publicly stated that they're going to review all regional and bilateral trade agreements. They just finished the negotiation part with Canada and Mexico. What could or should we expect in the Dominican Republic with respect to DR-CAFTA? A major renegotiation or slight tweaking on the margins? More emphasis on compliance with existing commitments? How do you see that evolving?
We have not received any formal demarches or instructions yet as to a change in the DR-CAFTA. Right now, it is a relationship that works very well. But we should always have an open door, noting that in effect the DR-CAFTA was signed in 2007. Maybe there's things that may need to be tweaked that would benefit one or both of our countries, but we have not received any formal notification that is in the works.
Okay.
But again, it is our position that we will always keep an open door and to be able to work on what's best for both of our countries.
And there's a number of people who are flying out this afternoon to get up for more turkey tomorrow. So time for one more question.
Okay.
Winston Churchill is said to have said, it's not clear whether he was the first to have said it, but that if you're not a liberal at 25, you have no heart. And if you're not a conservative by 40, you have no head. You started your career with the late Senator Scoop Jackson and then the administration of Jimmy Carter, two prominent Democrats. After many years of being a successful business person, you're now representing a Republican administration. I could just wonder how you would characterize your evolution in your thinking.
I read Winston Churchill's book.
Which one?
I've had the good fortune of serving two presidents. Presidents that were my friends, that have been mentors to me. I believe that there's good and bad on both sides, and that we should always seek compromise. And I tend to think of myself as a type of a middle-of-the-road person that seeks consensus. And look, we're not always going to agree on everything. I don't agree with my husband on everything. But for the most part, we do. Look, I believe that we should find common ground. I think that's when we will make the most progress. I believe that, I've always believed that you have to listen to both sides, come together as a group, seek consensus, and move forward toward success and prosperity.
Well, speaking of success and prosperity, we wish you every success and prosperity when it comes to security, investment, disaster preparedness, and education. AmCham's on your side.
Oh, great. Woo!
For me, I've been an awful good guy, Santa buddy, and hurried down the chimney tonight. Santa buddy, a 65 convertible to steel blue. I'll wait up for you, dude, Santa buddy, and hurry down the chimney tonight.